Peace to the gods, peace to the rap gods. What a time to be alive as a hip hop fan, specifically Wu-Tang. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Lionel McDonald once again for Sneaks, Rhymes, and Life. And what a early part of the week this was. Now, I've had some personal things happen and it has been a little up and down to say the least, but thank you for listening. This is available on Apple, Spotify, on YouTube, so you can watch the video version. We'll just chop it up, talk it through. But what a time to be alive. So on July 14th, this past Monday, the Final Chamber hit Toronto. What do I mean by the Final Chamber? For those that know me and that listen to this podcast on a regular basis, I am an absolute advocate and massive Wu-Tang fan. Wu-Tang Clan is nothing to fuck with. Wu-Tang Clan is one of my favorite rap group. It is the rap supergroup of all supergroups. And they announced earlier this spring they were going to do one last tour, a final tour in like 15 or 16 cities. This week is, call it the Northeast. So they hit Toronto on Monday. They were in New York City on Wednesday, and man, like, did we take in so many things? So Wu-Tang hits the scene, and I've already kind of talked about I had my story with Method Man at the end of April, meeting him in Toronto Eaton Center and chopping up with him. And Meth, shout out to Meth. Not only was he amazing when I met him in person, but he was absolutely the Michael Jackson of Wu-Tang during the show. Like, there was no greater ovation than when Method Man hit the stage and did Method Man. So pretty amazing of what we saw. But, Wu-Tang Clan hits Toronto. The stop is in Toronto. It is in called the Raptors and Leafs Arena, the Scotiabank Arena. 20,000 people plus who was on the floor. But let me tell you some of the things that I saw. So there was a special event. Shout out to Trini and everyone at the Purple Factory for pulling off a very intimate but compelling event to celebrate Raekwon. Raekwon, I have my shirt here. We're around the corner. This is Chef Raekwon, 4.5 mics for his debut solo project that came out 2 years after 36 Chambers, his project, the Purple Tape as the streets call it, but it is only built for Cuban links. It is turning 30. It is a monumental album in mafioso rap, but rap in lore ultimate. Like, it is arguably the best album that came out in 1995 in one of the greatest years that we've ever had in the history of hip hop. And there's going to be an episode that I do with a couple of my regular guests that we're going to have to break down the greatest year in hip hop. But they had an event celebrating Raekwon. So cocktails, lots of my personal friends, but also regular concert goers that I see, from Sky Zoo to Onyx to Blue and Exile, that I've all seen this year. Saw many of them at Talib Kweli when he performed in Mississauga earlier this year. So it was great to have this group together. Merchandise was being sold. Purple Tape 30th anniversary, along with the Only Built for Cuban Links champion shirts, amongst other things. So very cool vibe. But it became far more special than that. We had Jamal McGlure show up, an ambassador for the city and the Raptors, but also a legend in Toronto. We also had CP24 and the deputy mayor of Toronto to not only literally almost to give Raekwon a key to the city, but it gave him a commemorative plaque celebrating the impact of Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers, his store, where it was done on Dundas East, the Purple Factory. I think it's 661 Dundas East, just before you get to Broadview and hit the DVP. So special time. Brought a special guest. Top 3 Wu-Tang members for me outside Raekwon. is Inspector Deck. The guy never misses on a verse ever. So Deck was there in the house. They took pictures. I posted this already on my Instagram. I got to do a reel for this. But amazing time. Maybe the reel will be just to highlight this podcast and everything that kind of happened. So was with my good friends. Eventually sat with some of my closest friends, my brother, his girlfriend, his girlfriend Tani. Shout out Tani. And then her sister Melissa, along with my good friend Nick and his wife Tracy. So we all had a great time. And it was every single time I turned around, I saw someone I knew, from Big C to my boy Jerome that I worked at Foot Locker literally 28 years ago. My friend Melissa, elementary school friends, like the people who were just in the build. And even if I didn't see them, I knew that they were there in spirit and doing their own Wu-Tang thing. So what a show it was. Got a chance to meet a couple members at the end of the show, but we kind of go through and take you through. So you definitely can see this on Wu-Tang or on YouTube, because definitely someone's got it up. But we started with the 36 Chambers, Bring the Ruckus, Clan in the front, Mystery chess boxing, Wu-Tang and Nothing to Fuck With. Then Method Man shows up. We got Shame on a Nigga. We got Protect Your Neck. That was kind of Act 1. Can It Be So Simple? We continued. Then we kind of flipped into some solo stuff. We got the Rainy Days intro. We got Incarcerated Scarface's Ice Cream. Then we got some meth joints. All I Need, Bring the Pain. Then we got Jizza in Act 3, Liquid Swords, Duel the Island Mike for the 4th Chamber. When we got Gravel Pit, we got a special, that was the time you guys got to shine and set it off. We got Tears, and then Act 4 was Reunited, Shimmy Shimmy Ya, Kareem, Triumph. So we didn't get a lot of other members. We could have got Word on the Street from Deck. We could have obviously got All I Gotta Have Is You. We could have got, Heavy. We could have got Buck 50. We could have got so many different things from Ghost. I'm still shocked that we didn't get Daytona 500, but it was about the Clan as one and not as much about some of the solo joints. But we can't even forget that the opening act was absolutely incredible. Run the Jewels came through, LP, and obviously Killer Mike. Legend has it. Run the Jewels, Talk to Me, Stay Gold. Lychee Steel was one of the highlights. Angel Duster. We went crazy for Ooh La La Ah Wee Wee. And that's the song with Greg Nice that was on it. So amazing to see Run the Jewel. I've never seen them in person. So many of their songs sound similar, but then so different at the same time. The energy, and I didn't even know that really LP and Killer Mike were such comedians. So they did it proper. How many people did we see, not even in a Wu-Tang shirt, that were in a Run the Jewel shirt? Tani had a Run the Jewel shirt on specifically. So an amazing time. The merch, the food, the atmosphere, the energy, like to see people, like 20,000 people, like literally screaming at the top of their lungs, from Bring the Pain, my boy singing Ice Cream to his wife, people spelling Method Man, screaming Bring the Ruckus, Clan in the front, Let Your Feet Stomp. It was just an absolutely amazing time, but a sad time at the same time, because that is the final show. That is the last time Wu-Tang as a collective is going to be here. Now, hey, if you didn't know, Raekwon just dropped his most recent album. And this is the one that I've told you guys before. Mass Appeal is literally going to try and save, dad hip hop this year between him and Alchemist, because we're getting Alfredo 2. That got confirmed. First track, 1995, is already out. But Mass Appeal has this lineup. We already got Slick Rick 2 Fridays ago. We just now got Raekwon's new joint, The Emperor's New Clothes. We're also getting Supreme Clientele 2. We are getting a new Mobb Deep album. We are getting a new De La Soul album. We are getting also a new Big L album. And we're going to culminate with the long awaited, like literally 18 to 20 years in the making. And it teased us from the first three projects that Nas had put out. From, we started when the literally the first one we heard was the first full track on Illmatic, and that was and not Represent, because Represent might be my favorite song. That's the song that gets me the most amped. But New York State of Mind, and then all the way to the third album, Nas is Like. They're just a special duo, and they just create magic every single time. So the last project of the 7 was we're supposed to get a Nas and Primo album. Nas showed his calendar in late March, early April of everything he had booked, and it was session with Mobb Deep, session with Raekwon to make it happen for the Emperor's New Clothes, and then multiple sessions with Primo to get the Nas and Primo album. Now, we got Define My Name. We got it last year, the same time we got Common and Pete Rock, who did their album. The Auditorium was arguably the best album of 2024. But we have to see what transpires when we get this album. Hopefully it ends up being by the end of the year, but we'll have to see how everything all pans out. But I did mention New York, special merch. So things are happening, but we also did have, that was noted that 2 days later, Wu-Tang Clan went to the Mecca, went to where they originated from, and they took in Madison Square Garden. So with all of this, a special show, different than probably any of the other ones that transpired. And they had guests upon guests upon guests that transpired that showed up at this show. One of the ones for the age, we had Little Kim come out. We had the Locks come out. And hey, I didn't know the Locks and Wu-Tang were mad close until I saw Sheik Lut show up at a Ghostface show, the 30th anniversary of hip hop. So that was amazing to see. But the energy, and they really focused on Wu-Tang joints versus some of the solo stuff to fit all this in. Run the Jewels did their thing. So special to see that show happen. But let me just tell you some of the other guests that were there. And I said Little Kim already. I already said the Locks, and they even did like Locks joints. So that was kind of so dope to see. But again, one last time in MSG, they kind of really did the thing. Obviously, heavy focus on 36 Chambers, heavy focus on Wu-Tang Forever. We had an appearance from Havoc, from Mobb Deep. We had Little C's come out. Slick Rick and Big Daddy Kane also made an appearance. And then obviously, tribute that they did in the Toronto show to many of the fallen soldiers. Nate Dogg, Guru, Biz Markie, Phife Dawg from Tribe Called Quest, Nipsey Hussle, obviously Biggie and Tupac being probably the two biggest stars of all. Capadonna got a chance to do his, although I really wanted the Winter Wars. Like, we got it the last time in October. We got the Winter Wars a cappella, but Wu-Tang is forever. Wu-Tang is forever. And we got it. We got this concert that will culminate 32 years of Wu-Tang Clan being a thing. And this is the final chapter. Meth will continue to be on Power and be in films. He's got a film coming out, I think, with Kelly Rowland. You know, Ghostface will continue to do his thing. Raekwon's got his store and many other ventures. RZA's into now making movies and other productions. So Wu-Tang is forever. I'm going to throw up the W one more time. Special time to be at the show, to take this in, and just to say thank you. Wu-Tang changed so many things for artists and aspired what essentially a global conglomerate could be in being all together. Merchandise, rapping, producing, touring, movie stars, retail stores. Like, they just do so many things. Riz has now got into movies and production and acting and so many things. Like, Wu-Tang is one for the ages, and it's the true rap supergroup. We can say NWA and some of the others are special groups because they divided and did things. You know, a super group. You know, we had I was just talking about them today. Slaughterhouse. So, you know, that was Royce the 5'9", Crooked Eye, Joel Ortiz, and I'm missing one. Joe Budden, which Joe Budden has now become the most popular one because of the podcast and so many other things. But he did mixtapes. Obviously, he did the Joe Budden album, and that was incredible. But we haven't actually rumored have is that we have another super group on the horizon. KRS-One, Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, and Cool G Rap potentially are going to get together and make a project. Apparently, there may be even a guest appearance from Slick Rick amongst others, and maybe even Chuck D will show up. Maybe we'll get LL on it. Maybe he'll be slated because he may be the most important and influential rapper of all time. He was the first rap superstar, but not to be part of this super group, he might feel away. And he's doing great things with Rock the Bells Radio. There's a boat cruise that's happening where we get all the legends. It's the last performance for Little Brother as they're gonna, fade off into the sunset. Unfortunately, without Ninth Wonder, but it will be amazing to see them perform on a boat. Boat don't work for me these days. Not going to see that, but they're on a tour now. Follow it. I think it's called Curtain Call, and this is going to be the end of the horizons for them. So that's it. Wu-Tang forever. 36 Chambers, and I tell the story one last time. I don't know how many more episodes Wu-Tang will be involved where I can tell this story, but first time I ever heard Wu-Tang, and I told my friend Ashley that's today. I heard it, got dubbed. My boy Monty, he got the tape, he dubbed it. I think he actually stole the tape, but neither here nor there. Got the tape, and I had a chance to buy it in Windsor, first semester, playing for the Windsor Lancers varsity football at the University of Windsor. And on the 9th of November, 1993, I held two tapes, like I'm holding these two hats. And I held 36 Chambers in one and Midnight Marauders, Tribe Called Quest. Now, at the time, this is before Illmatic, because everyone knows Illmatic is my favorite album. The Low End Theory is my favorite album of all time. So it's like, this is the follow-up to this album. I gotta go Tribe over this new group. Now, I heard the Method Man, and that sounded nice, but I was going to have to make a choice. I chose Midnight Marauders, told my friend, my man Monty, hooked it up, dub. I was going to go visit Grandma in Jamaica. Rest in peace to her soul. My parents, who have all passed away in the last 5 years. Yeah, but, and yeah, shout out to my friend Heather, of one of my very, very closest friends, my sister, Sarah. Her mom passed away last night, but as we keep the story, going forward, because I do want to wrap this up, but got a chance to listen to the album in my grandmother's living room, first time. Parents are outside, didn't know what Wu-Tang was about, listened to the album. So many people, just to decipher all of the voices and everything is happening. I was like, man, there's some moments, I don't know if I love this, but there's so much hype on this. Put it down, go back, listen to it, put in the tape wrong way. We end up at it. Skipped several songs I found out in retrospect, but we ended up on Bring the Ruckus, and then going through all of the verses on Wu-Tang, and we stumble across a verse that, and then not Bring the Ruckus, actually, that was on one side. We just had heard Bring the Ruckus, but then we flipped over, and then we end up with Protect Your Neck. That is the posse cut that has everyone on. So it's just like, it's confusing as it comes. And we get the Jizza verse, the last verse on Protect Your Neck. And I was like, my mind was absolutely blown on how amazing this verse is. And I was like, who is this guy? I like this guy. I am hooked. Then I went back and started to listen. And picked out Jizzaverse, picked out Shame on a Nigga, picked out, and then, oh wait, this Raekwon guy is dope, because I caught him on Cream, and it's the whole Cream song is dope. The dude singing the hook is definitely that Method Man guy, and then this other guy on the track, Inspect the Deck. And as I said, sharpest guy in the whole clan might be Inspector, because he don't miss on any verse. We might say that he didn't get the best production, or the production that will remain timeless, but Deck don't miss on no verse and absolutely murders Cream, and then even does his thing on Protect Your Neck, and then it was on. Can It Be So Simple? We got Ghost, and then it was on. We got the solo project, we got Meth, then ODB with Return to the 36 Chambers. Then we got the Crown Jewel Cuban Links. Right after that, we got maybe the second best solo project, and debatable for some people. We got Jiz's second project, because he had one previously before Wu-Tang was a thing, and it was Liquid Swords. Then we got the next year, we got Iron Man from Ghost, and then it was on. We got Deck, we got You God, we got Capadonna, we got Master Killer. Everyone got it. Then we got Wu-Tang Forever, and then it was something. Iron Flag, amongst other albums that we got. But that is the Wu-Tang story, and how I heard Wu-Tang for the first time. It's because we know the Wu is slamming for these cold killer labels. Some ain't hit since they hit Aunt Mabel. Some of the most amazing lyrics that I've ever heard have come from the clan. So salute to Wu-Tang. RZA, and getting the clan to come back one more time, because it is 9 members plus 10 if you count Young Dirty Bastard plus Mathematics. So that is a lot of orchestrating of personalities, schedules, but to get one more tour. Much love, RZA. You are the architect. You are the head of Wu-Tang, despite what you guys said in the verse. You might be the heart of Wu-Tang. And it's just, the Jizza, you see, he's the head. We all form like Voltron, but he just so happens to be the head. I think Riz is the head, but that is that. It's Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers. Wu-Tang is forever. Wu-Tang is for the children. The final chamber. Thank you so much for listening. Available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and wherever else you get your podcast. This is Sneaks, Rhymes, and Lifeline. I'm McDonald. We out.